The fallout from UK's split from the European Union being felt around the world. Today, President Obama weighs in.
After speaking with Prime Minister David Cameron by phone, the president says he respects the UK's decision to leave the EU. President Obama had previously spoken out against the Brexit vote. Cameron also announced in light of this referendum, he will now step down in the next 3 months. President Obama said our relationship with the United Kingdom will continue, and he wished them the best.
I'm confident that the UK is committed to an orderly transition out of the EU. We agreed that our economic and financial teams will remain in close contact as we stay focused on ensuring economic growth and financial stability.
Some are expecting Scotland to seek independence once again. The country held a vote back in 2014 to separate from the UK, but that referendum failed. Yesterday, Scottish voters overwhelmingly backed the Remain movement, with 62% voting to stay in the European Union. Only 38% voted to leave.
Well, the financial fallout is hitting Wall Street today. Well, today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had plummeted more than 600 points, making it the worst day for the stock market in more than 10 months. Taking a look at the numbers now, the Dow was down 610 points. The NASDAQ, it was off 202 points. The S&P 500 was down 75. Well, Brexit will have an effect across the world and here at home, including your wallet.
We are joined now live with Joe Krier, president of Krier Wealth Management. He's here now to explain how this international vote can impact us here at home. And Joe, first off, many Americans wanting to know tonight, will Brexit have an impact, a direct impact on their 401k?
Yeah, hi, Lindsay. If today's any judgment of that, it's already having an impact. You know, as you said, the markets were down big. One of the keys here is to see if this spills over into next week. And of course, people are concerned to see whether or not this turns into contagion, where we see other issues going on in Europe, like banks failing, or problems that we don't even know about, all of a sudden manifesting themselves.
Mortgage rates are already low. What about your mortgage? Will it affect that?
Yeah, Rob, it looks like, you know, if you're out there shopping, you don't have to rush to get your mortgage in place because the feds have been hesitant to raise rates. Part of that is because they're worried about really the global situation. And now that things are a little rocky, they're not going to raise rates. Rates are probably going to stay where they are or maybe even drop a little bit. I doubt you're going to see adjustable rate mortgage companies send you a notice saying it's going down, but you're definitely not going to see an increase there.
And Joe, we know this breakup could take quite a while. Some are saying up to 2 years. So many people are trying to figure out, should they be buying into these worst case scenarios, or is this really going to take quite a bit of time before we at home here in the U.S. notice any kind of impact?
Yeah, we've had a lot of calls today about that same thing. People wanting to put money to work and saying, hey, is this the opportunity to buy something that we've been looking at? But I think you need to let this play out just a little bit here. You know, we saw in August of last year and again January of this year where things that happened on Fridays spilled into the next week, and you know, it was a good 6-7 days before it settled down. So the message is really on both sides. Don't necessarily put money to work, but don't panic and run for the hills here. It's going to be volatile for a few days. Just ride it out and let's see what the longer term looks like.
Joe, let me ask you about the pound. It's down against the dollar. Does this help or hurt the dollar?
Well, if you are a dollar bull, meaning you're happy when it goes up, the dollar is getting much stronger because there's money from around the world running to safety assets, and the dollar is considered one of the safest currencies on earth. It does hurt companies that export, for instance, Procter & Gamble, General Motors, big companies like that that are selling goods around the world. There's fears that their profits are going to be hurt significantly. And in about 2 weeks, we're going to start to get earnings reports, and we expect to see the CEOs reporting that their expectations for the rest of the year are much lower for anyone who's selling to Europe or Asia or any other part of the world.
All right, Joe Krier offering us all some critical insight tonight with Krier Wealth Management. Joe, we thank you for coming in and for your time.
Thanks for having me.